Right then, this is a walk around video, and this is for a Honda CR-V 2.2 EX diesel. This is a 2013 car, finished in white, which looks absolutely superb on the EX versions because you get the black roof on top, black trims. It just looks lovely on the car. The car's also fitted with the rear spoiler, which is very subtle but looks absolutely super on the car. Car's covered 73,000 miles and is in very nice condition for what is now an 8-year-old car. Front of the car, lights and lenses are completely clear and intact, no cracks or condensation. Bumper and bonnet very clean, with only the odd minor stone chip which you'd expect on any car this age. Near side of the vehicle, passenger side, absolutely mirror smooth on the panels. Near side front alloy, the one takes all of the bashing and there's no curbing on there whatsoever. And panels on this side, absolutely wonderfully clean. Near side rear alloy, again completely unmarked. Definitely my favourite angle for the CR-Vs with these spoilers. It is subtle, but it just adds a presence to the car. It looks absolutely super. See there, tow bar fitted, so could save a fair chunk of money for someone who's looking to tow with one. So come around the back, just on the bumper corner right at the bottom there, the plastic bumper is just caught. It looks as though it's just, but it's you know, as I said, given the fact that it's 8 years old, we do try and pick up on anything we can. But you know, they are there. There's a few little marks right in the corner bumper corner even, cracking me. But you know, you could easily get those attended to if you really wanted to, but say I don't think they detract particularly. Offside rear alloy, again completely unmarked. And the remaining panel work absolutely beautiful. And finally, offside front alloy, again absolutely lovely as well. There's nothing stuck in the tyre, it's just a bit of gravel. Just get it off there for you. So externally, so the car is in really lovely condition. It's coming into the back now. Absolutely enormous boots on these cars. They are family cars, they are used as estate cars, but this one has been treated very gently indeed. Obviously electric tailgate on the EX version. Press the button there. Obviously it opens in the same manner as well by using the button on the forward in the car, but all working exactly as it should. So coming into the back now, this is basically the Achilles heel of every family car. It's because it's where the kids sit, and CR-V is no different to any, but this one has been treated very gently indeed. Leather work is absolutely fantastic. Back of the front seats, not been kicked or skagged. And that is the legroom you get with me sitting in the front, and I'm over 6 foot tall. They are unbelievably spacious. It's coming to the front now. On the passenger side, again, all lovely and clean and tidy. Passenger seat there, not been given an awful lot of use. So finally comes the driver's door card, again, really clean and tidy. Obviously you get your electric memory buttons there for the driver's seat, because that's electric. And again, the one takes all the bashing, but in all honesty, it's done it so well. The only way you ever get on them is just on these bolsters here. It's all perfectly good, leather's absolutely fine, it's just where you slide in and out, but that's exactly how they should be. So inside the car now, engine's running this section so the dash can be seen illuminated, as is always the case. Dashboard looks as new, it really does. Got that lovely big screen sat nav on these EX cars. If I pop the car into reverse, you get that lovely clear gridded parking camera, which you can clearly see the pickup hitch, tow bar, talking about tractors there. It makes hitching up absolutely a doddle. That does double up as a DVD player when you're stationary as well, by the way. Dual zone climate control system. But I say it's just been kept absolutely beautifully in here. Then come across to the main dashboard binnacle, and you've got 73,788 miles. Engine's running without any warning lights on the dashboard at all. Steering wheel looks as new, in all honesty, but it is absolutely super in here. Finally, just to show you, owner's manual pack and lock and wheel nut key are both here and present. Right then, this is a quick road test video, and this is for a Honda CR-V, and it's a 2.2 EX diesel. This particular car is registered SR13ERX and mileage currently showing it is 73,783 miles. The reason we do these videos, as is always the case, is basically the same as what we try and do, which is basically we want anyone that's looking at our cars online and in the adverts to actually see those cars in operation. The reason we think it's important is because we know, unfortunately, to our own cost, just how frustrating it can be to go and see a car only to get there and find out when you drive it, it's got a fundamental issue that shows up whilst driving the vehicle. So that's why we do it. It's also done on these very quiet country roads, very close to our premises. This actually forms part of the test drive route anyone would go on should they be offered a test drive in the car. The reason for that is that hopefully then it will be representative of what you'd feel yourself in that situation. So coming to the car, engine starts immediately, of course, and settles to completely smooth, even idle. There are no warning lights on the dashboard at all relating to the engine or any other part of the car. The car's been running for well over an hour now, and temperature gauge is running at a third on the gauge, which is exactly where it's meant to be. Engines are simply brilliant diesel engines. Being Honda, they are incredibly tough and long lasting. Hundreds of thousands of miles is achievable with them with just normal servicing, and they are, the most reliable diesel in this sector of the market by quite a long way, in all honesty. On top of which, it's an absolutely beautiful engine to use, because apart from in the low gears, you really would be hard pressed to know you're driving a diesel other than that, because it's got a sweet engine note to it compared to some diesels, which can sound very diesely. This is one of the smoothest diesels you'll ever sit behind. It's a wonderful unit, and it's also fantastically flexible because it gives you a really broad range of power, because a lot of turbo diesels, especially the small capacity ones, can give the impression of having a lot of grunt to them. Initially they go, but they die away very quickly. They get much beyond a couple of thousand revs and there's nothing left. These basically, they rev all the way around. Not that you'd always want to, but it is there should you need it. It doesn't just sort of, you're not up and down the gearbox as you can be in some cars. I'm just gonna let me out. Engine then feeds through into clutch and gearbox. Clutch on the car, absolutely perfect. Bike points is exactly where it's meant to be, and it's nice and smooth and positive in its actuation. Gearbox, I'll say it on this car, as I say in all CR-Vs, this would be a gearbox that would go in any of Honda's more sporty cars. I love the positioning on the gear lever for a start. It's up nice and high, falls easily to hand, but it's so short and throw, snappy in action, precise, wonderful synchromesh as the gear engages. It is a brilliant thing to use. And that's not easy to achieve, because basically, like most front-wheel drive or transverse engine cars, the gear linkage as such is a cable now which runs through to the gearboxes, and so some gearboxes can feel very wafty. They can feel light, but they're just vague, really vague. These are brilliant, and that's exactly as it would have felt when it was new. I can feel no wear in it at all. Steering of the car, track's absolutely dead straight. There's no vibrations at this speed or any speed up to the legal limit, and it's a lovely power steering system because it gives wonderfully natural weighting. Even though it's electric power steering, it feels really nice. It makes the car feel lovely and solid and secure on the road. It's also very precise, very accurate, and works perfectly with the chassis, which, through all sorts of corners, has got a really good body control for a car this type. So many cars in this sector seem to just get it wrong. They're either, wonderfully comfortable on the straight ahead, but then just fall apart through the corners, they loll up about. Or they're so stiffly sprung that, for the couple of times you go around a bend, you think, oh, this is fantastic, and then all of a sudden you hit a B road or drive in a city and they are rock hard. It's horrible. This manages to give you a really comfortable, compliant ride, but with, as I said, it really flows through corners brilliantly well. It's much more capable than you'd think. Not suggesting for a second it's a sports car, because it's not. It just does it perfectly. What I'm also looking for in road tests, by the way, is any kind of noises coming from underneath the car that shouldn't be there, any sort of clonks, rattles or otherwise, and there's nothing at all. Worth pointing out, tomorrow, hopefully, it'll be off for an independent MOT, so all these things will be checked anyway. Brakes on the car, just get around this corner, make sure no one's directly behind me. On there, just give them a bit of a thump. Nice solid brake pedal on the vehicle. I'm looking for good initial bite, which it's got, but there shouldn't be any kind of fading, vibrations or pulsing on the brake pedal, and there's nothing at all. So coming to the interior, first things first, as I pretty much always say, because it's pretty much always the case, they are brilliantly built cars. No squeaks, no rattles, nothing at all, and that is true build quality. It's not soft, squidgy plastics and heavy sounding doors. It's how well they stay together after many years of use, and this is where the CR-Vs are brilliant, absolutely brilliant. It's also a lovely place to sit. Dashboard is very well equipped, but very nicely laid out, so it doesn't intimidate in any way. Sat nav, as you can see there, working absolutely perfectly. Climate control system, you've got dual zones, so different temperatures side to side, again functioning exactly as it should. We put it in a warm workshop earlier on and put the air conditioning on cold, just to check the air conditioning is cold, and it certainly is. It's very cold indeed. It works absolutely perfectly. I think he's going to let me go. Thank you very much. Coming across the dashboard binnacle, all working. As I say, it's just really nicely laid out. But it's also because it just gives you the information you need and nothing more, which I really like. But very simple. You just look at the dash, you get your information. Too many dashes these days, you kind of look at them and think, well, there it is. But no, this is very nice indeed. Steering wheel, small in diameter, feels really great in hand, feels absolutely as new to hold, by the way. All the equipment on there, the hands-free, cruise, all the buttons working exactly as they should. Auto lights, auto wipers, again all checked and all functioning. But it's a lovely place to sit. One button you won't see in any CR-V, even ones with four-wheel drive, as this one is the case, is a button for four-wheel drive, because there isn't one. The car does it for you, because Honda again worked out very quickly that most people would drive as I am today in perfectly good conditions, when there's absolutely no need to be in four-wheel drive. Because the problem with permanent four-wheel drive is it is permanently operating, which means you tend to chew up your tyres more quickly. You're obviously putting a lot more mechanical stress to the car, and you certainly use more fuel in those systems. So what this does is basically, if the front wheels start to lose grip, snow, ice, mud, whatever happens to be, it instantly brings in the rear wheels to give you four-wheel drive, and it's absolutely seamless in operation and very effective. We tow with ours. We've got a CR-V, and we tow caravan, which across some pretty muddy pitches, and we've never come close to getting stuck, so all good. There's also, by the way, an unbelievably reliable system. We've been selling Hondas using the system for nearly 3 decades now, and not so much as put a spanner on one of them. It's amazing. As I said at the start of the video, the point of it is just to briefly show you the car in operation, but to feedback on anything that I can find whilst driving it, which is nothing at all. It drives sensationally well. And as I said, we've sold thousands of these. We worked at the Honda main dealer for many years, so we know the car. So if there's something fundamental which showed up whilst driving, we'd let you know, but genuinely it's nothing. There is nothing. It's also obvious to see why the car is so sought after. It's such a lovely car to drive. They feel a very sort of high quality vehicle. As always though, if you've got any questions, don't hesitate, do give us a call.